Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nagy and I are out here in the spaceship today, and we are going to talk about and put out into the void our stories on charter cruises. And we've also put together a fun game for you guys at the end of the show where we have designed our charter cruises the way we want to do them. So,
the ideal charter cruise, the perfect fish cruise.
okay.
Perfect.
All right. I'm excited to see what you got on this
and
one.
you kind of like, hey, look at chart. Like, no, these are. If you came on Fish of the Seas, what is it gonna be?
The fishy of the seas. So,
Yeah.
just to let you guys know what charter cruises are at home, is Morty. They basically any company can rent the ship to go to whichever ports they want. It is expensive as all get out. You get the whole crew that's on the ship with you. That's part of it, and our entertainment and everything that's built into that. Or you can bring your own on the ship and design it and do fun different things your way. I'm sure all of you guys have seen different types of cruise ships out there that are more designed for entertainment purposes, like Burt Kreischer's Fully Loaded cruise, or the D&D cruise, or an EDM type cruise, or an Atlantis cruise. We'll talk about those later. And then there's also private ventures where people can purchase the ship and rent it out to just their company. We've seen multiple Fortune 500 companies just rent out the ship and almost not do any of their own stuff and just run the ship as
like,
is.
We're on a cruise ship. Like, are we doing stuff together? Like, nah, do your own thing. You're just on a ship. Like, everybody's coming on a company vacation with like one town hall in the middle towards the end, being like, just be there, enjoy.
Exactly. So, from the different charter cruises you've worked, where did counting your charter cruise start? Like, what was one of the first ones that you
did? It was on the Voyager, same one with the Christmas shirt. So I just like the bells and whistles where I came on not really knowing, and the Voyager of the Seas was one of like the most chartered ships. So the Voyager class, Nav class, like both those get chartered out a lot because they have like 2,000-3,000 people, so it's not difficult to fill that many people. And when I had signed on, we'd missed it by like a week, and it was the Jamrock cruise, like the Rasta cruise. And they were like, Josh was telling me, he was just like, it was one of the most nuts things because on ships, we've talked about smoking lounges for guests, things like that. On a lot of the charter cruises, because so many more people smoke, they do open up different areas. Like, they have like big metal coffee cans, like all the things that like the giant things of peaches come in. They put those like everywhere, and they're brightly painted. And then they have extra signage that says like, you can smoke here. Do not throw overboard. These are your big ashtrays. And on the Jamrock cruise, it was Josh just said, he's like, dude, the entire ship reeked of weed for an entire week. Like, he said it was the chillest things, just all the bands. I want to say Ziggy was there, or supposed to be. Like, they have big names on it. But when I got on, I was like, man, I can't believe I missed that. Is there anything else? And my first true charter was 70,000 tons of metal. So it is, yeah. And I'm the most like novice fan of metal as a genre of music, and I know there's like death and hardcore and sound, every type of metal you can imagine.
For all the people at home, Nagy's favorite type of metal is dwarf metal. Diggy hole.
It's the new hole. One where I was like, okay, this is pretty decent. That one's just like, it's a bunch of dads who got together and just like jam out as dwarves. But so you can check them out, super fun. But
they're called Windrose, by the way. That's the name of the band.
Yeah, shout out to them. Digging for Gold, great one if you just want to go like lift weights, male or female, just get pumped up. But so we get on the ship, and I didn't know any of these bands, and that's a lie, I knew two. And I cannot remember the names, and I don't want to butcher them, but the only thing I know is if you watch or have seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, the metal band that's playing when he goes to the club to talk to the computer genius and he has to knock and do the secret password, that is Jim Carrey's like favorite metal band, and he like begged the producers and shoved these guys in, and the main singer's neck is gotta be like 21 inches around. He can ground
Cannibal
so
Corpse?
much. That's the one. I was gonna say. I always want to say like Cannibal Corpus Christi, and I'm like, nope. That's a mix of a bunch of things.
That's a place in Texas.
Yep. And so he gets out and sings, and those guys just rock the house. Like they're one of the main headliners. The one I knew is a Viking metal band called Corp Kalani.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't believe these guys are here. I actually like have listened to them since college. It randomly came on like a Celtic rock channel I play, blah blah. So listening to them was amazing, and they set up different venues around the ship. And metal fans are the most kind people, which I did not see coming.
That's fair. That's fair.
You're like, I don't even know how you guys get through metal detectors because they're wearing so many chains and belts and loops and piercings and stuff that I think security was just like, whatever, just go. I don't care. It's not worth it for you guys to literally have to get naked to get through these metal detectors. But they are so kind. And I had never observed pit culture, like mosh pit culture before.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's another one that I can't remember the name of, but if anyone listens to metal, it's the Brazilian metal. And so they played in the theater. So the main stages were the theater and then the pool deck. And they played in, and we just went up top, like at the top of the theater, just looking down, because again, you're not supposed to be in like the people's way.
Sepultura?
And you could. Sorry?
Sepultura?
Yes, maybe. Again, I'd have to look at the pictures of who the band covers I got, or my shirt that says it all. I should have worn the shirt. And so, but there was this one guy, and he was kind of like the nerdier jack dude, and just like almost like a V-neck or a polo, just like rocking out. And then this other guy, they're all bouncing around, running into each other. And this one guy, you could literally see him just like eyeing this nerdy dude. And he starts like jumping into him. And then the nerdy guy kind of realizes like, oh, this guy's kind of coming after me. And they start like, boom, boom. And then they just like square up, stop dancing. I was like, do we have to like get security? And then they're just like, yo, like a big hug. And then just back to mobbing. And I was like, what is going on? And Josh is just sitting there like explaining, like, yeah, it's just, the pit culture is you don't hit unless you're ready to get hit back. Like, do unto others. And it was just phenomenal. But then when we docked in Turks and Caicos and I saw Corp Kalani walking down the beach, and they're all wearing like their ragged thrash jeans and metal and black, and you're like, it's like 90 degrees with 100% humidity. Like, good luck out there, bud.
Oh.
All right, so that was the mosh culture, and so it was just really nuts to learn. Oh, the band name was Sepultura, and they are like huge in Brazilian and across like metal culture. And I think what was really funny as an outsider was when you listen to Corp Kalani singing in, I think they're Norwegian. You listen to Sepultura singing in Portuguese, or when you listen to, what was the first band I named for Mason Ventura?
Cannibal Corpse.
That's what I said. And like, so for what, like, I haven't heard the music, so it all just sounds like, but when it's in Portuguese, Norwegian, or English, it kind of all sounds the same, but they just have like the most power ballads and things. So that was the first eye-opener that I really had.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it, it's cool because, again, everything's catered to that clientele. The beers on this cruise, though, everyone was drinking Foster's. They stocked the crap out of the ship with Foster's because it comes in the oil can. It was like $8 when a Bud Light in a 12-ounce was like the same price. So everybody was drinking Foster's everywhere. And you just saw like towers and pyramids all over the ship. But that was a cool one. But I don't think it was quite as good as the one we shared, which you got a way better taste of. And that was on Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the
Beachbody
cruise.
Beachbody.
Yeah,
so
the Beachbody. So
anybody who knows the Beachbody home workouts, I wrote it down here. It's Tony Horton, Sean T, and Aubrey Calabrese that were on that cruise with us. So Sean T did
Sean T wasn't there.
Sean
I remember
T definitely
all the
was there.
girls and all the guys. Maybe so. This is why I was so jealous. So I was still youth staff. So we were watching all of their kids
Yeah.
while everybody was doing workouts and you were doing everything. I'd be like, Chris, tell me, please, what are they doing out there? Because all these men and women would just roll in and just paint it on Lululemon and then come back covered in sweat hours later. And you're like, you guys had fun. They're like, yeah, we're just grabbing our kids and we'll bring them back for later for our second workout and then for dinner. And you're like, okay, we're just going to be playing with balloons.
So what it was it was all of Beachbody's top salespeople. They brought them on for the cruise, and they got a +1 and their families were able to come. So with that, every morning they had the Tony Horton, Aubrey, and there was another one that I can't remember that wasn't Sean. That was there too. He was there the whole time. Sean came on for one day. You remember?
Because it was like the T25, P90X, all their derivatives. Like
and there
everyone
was
who led those videos. Yeah.
They did workouts every morning for an hour that they did on the pool deck. And they cleared out all of the chairs every morning. The Blue Boys were just ready to bring them on immediately afterwards, but they would completely clear them off. And for 3 hours straight, people would just sit there and work out on the sun deck and do these workouts in the morning, starting at like 5 in the morning. It was
we had to open early, so we're there at 6 a.m. like barely rolling out of bed, and they're all showing up like pipped and chapter, like, yeah, we just finished our warm up. Here's our kids. We're gonna go do our main workouts now. Like, okay, have fun.
Yeah. And then they would all come over and play on the Flow Rider or whatever sports tournament we had immediately afterwards. No, I take that back. All their husbands did. It was a majority of women that were doing those workouts in the morning.
Yep.
The guys were generally in the gym or on the running track. But with it, one of my favorite ones that happened was we got the hats for that because they really took over for that ship. And they gave all of the kind of front-facing staff the Beachbody Cruise or something like that. We got some fun hats that came with that.
Yeah, you guys got some sweet swag, and we just got like their kids.
And what else was actually really cool was they saved those workouts. So they did it, I think it was only a 5-day cruise because we did a nice long 9-day cruise or something afterwards to balance it out. So what it was, they saved the film from all of those videos and put them in the crew gym so that we could watch them over and over and worked out.
Yeah.
Bet you don't remember that part, Nagy.
No. So this was the other killer of youth staff was the last session of Adventure Ocean is 7 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And your break is from 5 to 7. So, like, yeah, there was potential to go hit up the gym. For the most part, you're going to change, shower, get ready for the last session. And the amount of times that, like, I would go straight to the crew bar still in uniform because you're like, dude, it's 10:30. We just finished cleaning, like, Oxivir and Viroxing the whole of Adventure Ocean. It's like 10:30, 10:45, clean, beer or two, bed, up at 6 a.m. the next day for more workouts and stuff. You want to go to the gym? Like, get out of my face. I'm doing bicep curls right now. Just leave me alone.
I will say, I got to collect one of my greatest bad tattoos of all time from that cruise.
Ooh.
So, there were a lot of stunning, very athletic people that wanted to go on the Flow Rider that cruise, which is very not normal for us working on the wave. And it was very welcoming, and I enjoyed every second of it. But there was this guy that had a total dad bod, and on his left pec at like a 45-degree angle, this is my top 5 bad tattoos of all time. It said Body by P90X. And I was like, bud, that's what you're putting on your body? Like, we're really? And I don't know if Tony wants that advertised. I
think it should. Now he needs the insert that says body used to be by P90X.
Exactly. But that was my favorite bad tattoo that I ever collected. Or not favorite, but it was up there.
Right.
Yeah. So
So
with that,
that
you worked one of the probably greatest charter cruises to ever work, ever.
the two top for Crew. Actually, top two for Crew. So I would say coming in second, at least story wise, is the Swingers Cruise. And it is
Ooh, good one.
exactly what you think it is. So they book it out exclusively for swingers,
Mm-hmm.
and it is literally an open door policy of wandering down the halls and going, "Hey, who's in this room? I'm going to join in." Like insanity, and people are fornicating across the ship. Like there would almost be an entire day. Actually, there was almost a day of each after this cruise, and then the one I'll tell you is of just straight cleaning, like top to bottom. Because the next cruise is, hey, there's going to be normal people on here again, or like
There's gonna be children walking through here.
Yeah. So the Swingers Cruise was definitely, people always said they're like, I'm haunted by it, but it's like, yeah, but that makes the best story. But the other top one I think is called the Atlantis Cruise. And the Atlantis Cruise
Buddy,
is
you go to war as a
chartered.
crew member on the Atlantis cruise, from what I hear.
Yeah.
You go to
So the
war.
Atlantis Cruise is exclusively homosexual men. I think we found out that there was like 40 females out of over 6,000, most being mothers, supportive friends, things like that. The rest, all men. And so what I wanted to mention was a very almost like dad fact of, I don't know how many, like we talked about when you're sitting on gangway just kind of chilling and you're looking at the logistics of a ship being done. And you talked about how they cleared the deck so that everybody could do workouts. For this cruise, they lowered ship containers and they loaded up all the chairs and most of the sunbathing things. So the entire aqua theater, all those chairs were gone.
Love that.
And the
Love
entire
that.
aqua theater was, and then they extended the dance floor out to like the second row of seats, and it was all covered in like tarps, plastic, and almost like a minor stage, and that became a dance floor. So if you go look at the aqua theater, like, whoa, that's huge. Now imagine the first two rows are also part of the stage.
So,
So
by the
that was
way,
the
hold on
dance.
for the people at home. What ship were you on for this?
This was the Allure of the Seas.
Okay.
So, like, that was the dance floor. The speakers were on the stage at the 3 meter platform, and they almost covered the whole thing and went down where the diving boards go. So we'd be chilling on Rockwall. Well, Rockwall was just closed. We'd be chilling on Zipline and Flowrider, and we turned off the music on the Flowrider because the music echoed up the entire ship and the entire boardwalk, the entire cruise. And they would have they would have 3 parties a day, starting at 10 a.m. and finishing at like 4 or 5 a.m. And we'll have another day where we can delve into the debauchery that everyone saw and things that happened. But basically, every party was themed like completely different. So the one in the morning was like a camo military stoplight party. So if you wore, like, we were just sitting there, we set up booths and we'd hand out like dog tags.
That is
Green
probably
went,
one of the few stoplight parties that I've seen that was probably green.
it was phenomenal. And
But
these
I mean,
guys
was
are
it just
dressed
loaded
to
with
the
people wearing
nines.
green?
So if you wore green, it meant let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yellow is like it's complicated, and then red's like I'm taken, I'm with my significant
I know,
other.
but I'm saying how much of the theater was green?
Dude, by the end, we didn't even see Dolly. Like, they were just all over the floor. You're like, I think everybody just forgot about it and stopped caring. And but like everybody was dressed to the nines or dressed to the aces because they were either in the most amazing get-ups for each party or they looked fabulous wearing like almost nothing.
I was
And
about to say, or
they
they were
just
butt naked with glitter all over their body.
yeah. And we had the flow ride and zip line open, and I think we sent like 14 people down the zip line the entire cruise because they're wearing nothing. And you're like, guys, you need clothes. And they're like, we don't have clothes that match what's required to go down the zip line. Like, that wasn't part of my outfits. And like, okay, well, next cruise.
And
And
so,
then the
with
Bears and Cubs.
Bears and Cubs,
And and then there was at night, that's when the dungeon parties would happen. And that's when all the like the leather, latex, masks, chains, whips, that's when those things came out to play. So when you weren't working, you weren't at the crew bar. You'd like grab a drink and then you would just go people watch around the cruise. It was insane.
Are the stories true of working zipline landing and then just watching fornication out the balconies on the boardwalk?
So there was a rule against fornication. I never saw things. And there was times where I was standing next to someone and he goes, "I just saw a guy do drugs off another guy's penis." And I was like, "Where? Like, are you kidding? Like, am I just looking at the wrong things?" The only one I really remember was the best, like the peak memory from that is we were just chilling on Rockwell, whether it was open or not. I have no idea because I don't remember working. But these two old queens were on their balcony facing the boardwalk wearing like Speedos with like suspenders. And then they just had like bubble guns and bubbles, and we're just like, wee, and just like blowing bubbles across like the whole boardwalk. And like they're dancing to the music, and we're just sitting there. I was like, those queens got it, yo. Like, yas, queen. That's where that phrase came from right there. Those two gentlemen. Like,
That's awesome, man. I wish I got to work more than one charter cruise, but those are great stories.
though, well, then no one, I guess, unless you looked, but you couldn't really know. Like, it would just be.
Yeah, because they're not
They would tell you like
advertised.
the week before. And there was a huge rule for crew being like, no pictures are allowed of this because a lot of these guys were closeted or, like one story is a guy got injured on the flow rider, went to medical, and they're like, okay, we need to take your records down. He goes, no, I have a job back home that if any of this gets to them, blah, blah, like that, how discreet the ship would be. So it was really cool on them to do that. But they even told us, like, if you guys post pictures from this, like it is terms, like grounds for termination.
You're done. You're done, kid.
Yeah. What happens on the international waters stays on the international waters.
Except for when you're listening to Cruise Into the Void.
Fair. But I mean, if someone can identify two old queens or whatever, like, wow, way to go.
If somebody can remember deck 6, room 217 in 2016.
Like right above Johnny Rockets by like the J, 4th level up. Like,
yeah. So next, we had written our own charter cruises for tonight. So Nagy and I have been given an unlimited amount of money, and we are going to make our charter cruises as fun as possible. And one day, hopefully, revisit this episode in 10 years when somebody goes, hey, we want to fund it and make it happen.
We'll be like, all right, we're rolling dice, and Fish won. All right, we're taking his cruise. Or Nagy won, we're taking his cruise.
Or we'll just blend it together. But we'll see whose ideas from whose we want to take.
We'll see who overlaps. All right, let's roll so you get to present their cruise first.
You go for it.
You want to roll first or second?
First.
Okay. I got a 3, you got a 16.
Sweet.
So lead the way.
All right. So, we are going to be going on a 7-day cruise. Let me tell you what's going to be happening throughout the evening as marketing for this cruise. Day 1, night 1, is going to be a blind date game show in the theater. All right, where we are going to take 2 contestants that are going to be blindfolded, and we're going to have blind dates throughout the whole night for anybody on the cruise that wants to potentially find love. Hosted by yours truly and our guest host, Simeon Kirklis. Big round of applause for Simeon. Yes. Night 2.
Mr. Simeon.
Night 2 is going to be...
Do you have a name for this cruise? Sorry,
I haven't come up with a name yet. You got to help me with that at the end. All right.
Okay, we'll see what the theme
Night 2 will be
is.
the house show, whatever it is. Night 3, we're going to have comedians that are going to be running in the comedy room on this ship full time. So we're looking at probably an Oasis class ship, most likely the Harmony or the Allure, one of those two. So in there will be Bert Kreischer, Catherine Blanford, and Derek Yells. Those 3 will be the comedians that are running around, but they will also do a long show on night 3 in the theater for everybody. Night 4, we are going to have a Cruise Into the Void talent show hosted by you and me for everybody on the ship. And we're going to see who's got what and who's going to win what prizes. Following the talent show, instead of 70s, we're going to have wrestling on the promenade, featuring a tag team matchup for the champion of the seas title. All right?
Okay.
Then, on night 5,
Wait,
we're going to have the
guest?
Huh?
Guest signing up for that?
No, hold on. That comes later. Those will be pro wrestlers for that one.
Oh, okay.
All right,
It's like you
night
just
5.
sign up day one, and then
No, wait till
rules.
the guest participation I have coming up. All right, bud.
Okay.
Night 5 is going to be the house show. Night 6 is going to be a live D&D show, voice acted by the cast on the ship, and you are going to be polled as an audience on what the characters are going to be doing. So the cast just voice acts the audience's reactions.
Oh, so it's like an improv type style, like.
But we tell them what to do, and they just voice act whatever's coming up next.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be super duper cool. Then, last but not least, that is going to be costume night instead of formal night. So everybody is going to be dressed up as D&D characters or whatever you want to be. All right. Night 7 is going to be a live podcast with Bert Kreischer and Crewzin to the Void. Now, C-Day activities include, for the guests, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit played with the band on the board playing the music soundtracks.
Oh, like live music style? Like the movie's playing in the theater, the band's playing the... I feel bad for the band members. Be like, all right, guys, we're doing the extended versions. None of this theatrical version crap.
No, they'll have fun. They'll like it.
4.5 hours.
All right. We'll have archery in Central Park.
Nice.
A board game library in the conference rooms that are in the lower area with tables sponsored by Wormwood, and they will all be auctioned on the last day of the cruise. So they will be auctioned and sent home afterwards. Box lacrosse in the sports deck. We are also going to have boxing matches for alcohol package. Hold on, listen to this. Boxing matches for the alcohol package. So if you win, you get an alcohol package.
Cool, you get to drink on brain damage. That's amazing.
And then you are going to have performances by Major Lazer, Shaq, and DJ Fish Sticks himself.
Nice. Okay. It's interesting the way our different brains planned the cruise.
Yeah.
Because yours was like, when you said night 1, I was like, oh, I'm screwed. I did not do that kind of breakdown for this. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so a name for yours.
What are you thinking? And also, what are you thinking of the
my name
events?
almost works for yours, too. So, okay, so I'll hit you with mine. So, what are your ports?
I don't care. With that, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're probably going out of Fort Lauderdale. Let's be honest. The mecca of all cruise ports, right? Like, you got to go. And if you're bringing Bert, a Florida boy, you got to do it out of Florida. So it's probably just somewhere in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, my ports were... All right, whatever. So my cruise is the Triple D. Dudes, Dames, and Dice. Also works for yours.
Okay.
So I was thinking Dudes, Dames, and Dungeons, and then like again we were like, I'm gonna talk about Atlantis. Like, is it going straight there? Like, no. So we're going with Dice because it's basically combining my passions of board games and drinking games. So you got the dudes, you got the dames, you got the dice. So again, not nightly cruises. Mine was more activity based for the sea days, but also going out of Florida. Okay, we're hitting up Cozumel.
Of course.
We're hitting up Labadee, and we're hitting up St. Thomas.
Love it. Great choices. Great choices.
Yeah. Or no, excuse me. No, not Labadee. Coco Cay. Labadee's dead. Coco Cay all the way.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, the zip line's dope, but Coco Cay's got all of the things now. So that's where it's got.
Whenever you could get on that zip line in Labadee for free, that was the play. That was the play.
Anyone who does that, side note, don't look at the end line. You're gonna get there. Look at the island, the ocean, the ship. You don't have to look down. I remember the first time I did, I looked down the whole time. Like, how was I? I was like, I looked down the whole time, like down the line. That was dumb. Look out to your left. You see the whole island. You see all the beachgoers. That's a good one. Okay, but back to Dudes, Dames, and Dice. So get on board. Itinerary. I don't even know how they hit those islands, so I'm not even going to try. So for our entertainment on the nights you're not there, okay? On one night, you have a Harry Potter reenactment of almost the entire 7-book series. Okay, and then on the next night that's available, it's a Lord of the Rings reenactment. Okay, now this is with either the cast members or a special traveling band, because it is not like the verbatim reenactment. It's almost like all of the characters are intoxicated, just like freestyling it through, where like everything's more live, like almost like Marvel style, where Harry Potter's like, Dumbledore didn't tell fuck all about what we're supposed to be doing right now. And Gandalf's like, yo, I'm just gonna like bomb in here real quick with some magic. So it's like super comedic style shows. And because the movies and plays are so like all the books and movies are so long, this could even be done segmented. Like night 1 is Harry Potter 1 through 3, and then the next one's 4 through 7, and then same thing with Lord of the Rings. Like, you know, the books all like broken up, but again, very comedic. Like short term, lots of engagement with the guests. Where like if you drink, then the actors on stage have to drink, and if like you get the chance going, so it's a very involved show, but you want to watch, not just be shouting out, ruining the show the whole time. And then last one, kind of on that note, would be a comedy magician who kind of hits those things and does the same show.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the shows. Hand food only. And formal night is like only turkey legs, medieval style service. Like I'm talking people, like the servers are walking around the tables being like, cat's meat, hot wine, cat's meat, hot wine. And you have to be like, yeah, I'll take cat's meat. And it's not going to be real cat's meat.
It sounds like you want Renaissance Festival, the cruise.
That's it. Yeah. That's very different. But that's formal night. Okay. That's just the formal night of it. Okay. Drinks on tap, tons of mead. Tons of mead. In that hot weather, you want that cold honey drink. Sweet stuff. And horns. Drinking cups are all horns. So you got to be carrying your horn around, belt loop, whatever you want. And then, yeah, just turkey legs everywhere. So it's like the Renfest, like you said. I love my turkey legs. Those got to be everywhere. But then the chiller activities, that's where the dice come in. And that's where we have the sponsorships from all the favorite board game places. D&D's pretty hard to run. Like, I loved your idea of the, like, acting out, like, a thing that the guest gets involved, but, like, I don't want to just be like, all right, everybody go set up D&D, because it's like, all right, we're setting it up at noon on a C day, and you're going to finish a one-shot at, like, 8, 9 p.m. kind of thing. So just tons of other board games, but then most of the morning days, like at sea or when you get back on the ship, are guest involvement of just broing out. I'm talking like 10-person pong teams where like the ping pong. Have you ever played like Super Pong where you do the entire length of cups all the way in? So you got like a team of 3 doing that, and that's a round robin. Those are set up everywhere. So it's just like drinking games all morning, shows in the afternoon, evening for the sea days, and then at night, shows and drinking activities.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's really Nagy's Ren Fair at sea.
It is, yeah. The Nagy-sans of the seas, if you will.
The Nagasance of the seas. That should be the name of yours. That's phenomenal.
Okay, you can have Dudes, Dames, and Dice, and I'll take the Nagy-sans of the seas.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, we haven't done a blind side in a while. So do you want to give the people at home what it is exactly, and then I will give you yours for this week.
Okay, so the blind side is the idea we came up with, just kind of spice it up of, we want to tell you everything we can about ships and us, and sometimes tailoring those objects do not vibe well. So the blind side is just hitting the other person with the most random thing we could come up with to kind of delve deeper into who they are as a person and kind of how they can react on the spot of being blindsided with a category.
And you have to give it in 2 items, as facts, no feelings, or feelings, no facts. For this blind side, you actually set us up really, really well in your Harry Potter reenactment and telling us how much you love Harry Potter.
Correct.
What would be one of your favorite facts of Harry Potter that you think a lot of people don't know?
All right, so I think one that is a little more controversial, if you will, is that Percy Weasley should have been sorted into Slytherin.
Okay,
It's a
why
pretty
is that?
well-known fact. Well, it's all right. It's a smaller group fact kind of thing. So
Okay.
Percy was kind of the snooty one, like I'm a prefect, first years follow me, that kind of thing. And the way he goes through the books was pointed out that he did kind of follow the Slytherin path of very determined, goal orientated. I don't really care what I do. He went against his family to go with um, the ministry, things like that. So he did a bunch of stuff that you're like, no, you're a Weasley. You were a Gryffindor. What are you doing? And it's like, he probably should have been in Slytherin. So that's, I think, the controversial one on that.
Okay. Okay, well, it's interesting that you bring Slytherin up because another Slytherin character is something that we're going to talk about in tonight's Blind Side. And if you
Okay.
want to go ahead and roll that dice there, and we can find
Okay.
out if you're going to go feelings, no facts, or facts, no feelings here first. And
I
we'll
got
go.
12. Sorry.
Hold on.
I'm joking.
Evens. Evens are facts, odds are feelings. Throw that down.
I got a 12. So
So, facts. All right.
facts first. All right.
Slytherin are often very determined people. And tonight you're going to help us decide that Voldemort did nothing wrong. Because all he was trying to do was be out there and protect his people and make a better world for the people that he represented, which were wizards and witches. Much like Neo from The Matrix and Paul Atreides from Dune. So, Nagy, Voldemort did nothing wrong. Go ahead and give me some facts.
Okay. So we'll preface this with one of the only reasons I don't like the movies and then most of the books is they really doghouse Slytherin. And I think that is such a shame. Because when you look at, like, again, determination, all the factors of Slytherin, they're not bad things. I've got
Okay.
2 buddies that I consider Slytherins. My buddy Lance, if you're out there, best Slytherin I know. Because he was just very determined. He knew what he wanted in life, and he followed it. He achieved it. He did it. Now he's living his truth. But they're not, like, in the books and the movies, they're bad people. Like, in the Battle of Hogwarts when McGonagall's like, take the Slytherins to the dungeons. Like, I just wish it was like there was some Slytherins in the back like, hey, I don't agree with this. Can we fight? It's like, nah, all of you. Get out of here. You're all bad. Like, yeah, no, that's... So I really don't like how... So one, Voldemort being with the Slytherins, getting dogged. Already people are like, oh, you're bad because you're a Slytherin. Like, bro, come on. Like, Salazar, yeah, kind of a dick. But, there's a lot of good ones out there. Man, there's not a lot of... So I guess Voldemort did everything in his power to achieve the power, to get the Elder Wand, to make his goals come to fruition. He knew he needed to be the strongest wizard there was.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you
That's about
this.
it.
Was Tom Riddle raised in an abusive household?
Partially until he went to the orphanage.
So some
So
could
his-
say it was in his nature to be harmful from birth.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
one of the things where he was not nurtured. He had a very rough thing with... Oh man, you're asking about lore that I don't got on file right now. Abusive household, given up. He was conceived under a love potion, so he could never truly feel love. So he was cursed from birth on that. So he couldn't empathize with other people. He just had his feelings, probably on the spectrum somewhere, and he couldn't feel empathy, things like that. He just had his goals and wanted to achieve them.
So with that, some could say he couldn't do any better than a rough kid that was raised on the streets and almost bring that to his sorcery or wizardry.
Some could say that, and then they
Okay.
should be beaten with soap in socks.
All right. Okay.
I
Now,
mean, it's one of those things where, like, that's not always an excuse. Like, genocide is never, like, again, because the other thing was, I'm not gonna. You said Paul Atreides. He goes, oh, you match them up. Like, they didn't vibe. Paul Atreides wasn't going for genocide. He was going for, we're just trying to bring the lower class into, you know, a level playing field. Voldemort was like, no, we're better. We are now gonna harm and take over.
but
So I would say that they don't vibe.
but some could say that in that argument, Paul Atreides did have to commit genocide on House Harkonnen.
Well, he is a Harkonnen. Can you commit genocide on your own thing?
He wasn't a Harkonnen. He was Atreides.
He's a Harkonnen. Have you seen the second one? Read a book, dude. His grandfather was the Duke, or not the Duke, the Baron.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm saying
So he's a
he's
Harkonnen.
still committing genocide either way you spin it.
Is it genocide when it's war against everyone? Like, if it's war against one specific people, it's like Muggles. That's a genocide of
Yep.
Muggles. If it's like, if you're killing everyone, like, you're just killing everyone. I guess he was killing wizards, like mudbloods, and oh, don't say that. Mixed bloods.
So, feelings no facts. Voldemort did nothing wrong.
Yeah. There's nothing he, again, not even bringing. I think Grindelwald had a better thing of trying to bring wizards into the open to say, like, hey, we're gonna not hide in the shadows. We're coming out and letting Muggles deal with us. And it might be through some power, but we're stepping onto the field, coming out of the dugout, we're stepping on the field. Voldemort was like, no, we're taking over the field and kicking them out of the stands. Like, oh, okay, so you're not trying to come up into the house, trying to take it over. Like, yeah, not boy. Feelings, bad dude. Like, you can't even hug right. Come on, man, lock it up. If you can't hug, you're not a good person. It's not always true, but.
I'm not a great hugger.
Well, I mean, there's some people that also don't like physical contact, but they have their own type of hug. Hug could be a broad term of sometimes like a good eye contact, or like a firm nod, or you got it, like that. You know, again, a hug is an embrace, like a letting down of any of your defenses. So it doesn't have to be a physical embrace, but he doesn't let down his defenses. His defenses are all offenses, and.
Okay.
Like, when he kills everybody. Like, what kind of leadership is that? Like, hey, these other guys messed up. Well, I'm going to kill you for telling me that. You shot the messenger? Or, hey, we tried and we failed. Well, I'm going to kill you. So it's like, do we tell him that we messed up? Like, no, he's going to kill us. Well, he'll kill us either way. Like, all right.
Well, when we finally get to do our Warhammer episode, I can teach you about the great Conrad Cruz. Conrad Kurz is the leader of the Night Lords, and his whole style is come in, kill what needs to be killed, and that's it. So he'll line up like 10 soldiers and be like, okay, you know what? We are going to pick one of you. Boom! And then blows his head off. And he goes, who wants to be next? And then they all fall in line after that. Some could argue that's the most humane because you only unalive what needs to be unalived.
The Vlad the Impaler technique. Like, you butcher one village so you don't have to even attack 9 others.
I like it.
So, again, but that's not everyone. Like,
Live
the
through
bad
fear,
guy,
baby.
Voldemort's like, kill everyone.
Live through fear, Nagy.
Yeah. Wait, what? I didn't hear you.
Live through fear. Put fear into your
Yeah.
enemies.
No, rule through fear. If you live through fear, then that's just scary stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what do you want to send the people home with?
Look into those charter cruises. You know, if you have a niche or general hobby enthusiasm, there's probably someone out there doing a cruise for it. There's tons of board game cruises. Josh taught us a bunch of them. You know, they come on, they play board games for days. You want to go to a fitness one, you want to go to like a relax, you can find your thing. And if not, start one. See if you can gather people together. This is a big country with the internet now. You can reach out and go, hey, we want to do this. Who wants to join me? get a couple people, get in contact with travel agents or the cruise company themselves. Go out there, have fun, and be around a bunch of like-minded people because they're out there. Like
And
singles cruises to swingers cruises.
most of those cruises started as small groups of like 50 to 100 people going on a cruise,
Yeah,
and then it grows and grows and grows. And all it takes is one person on Facebook to revolutionize it, and then you guys
yeah.
could get everything going. But yeah, look into it. There are charter cruises for anything and everything. EDM cruises, knitting to crocheting cruises, probably, if I
Oh
had to
yeah.
guess.
Oh yeah. Not
So,
quite the big partiers, but man, they're sewing up a storm.
or if you just want to go drink by the pool all weekend, well, your wife goes and does whatever she wants to do, or vice versa. If it's your husband's
Yeah,
favorite thing to do, there's probably a Lego cruise. Go let him play with Legos while you drink wine and read your favorite books that you need to catch up on.
there you go. Go out
Well,
there, have a good time, follow your interests, and it'll be there for you. That void will echo back to you.
ladies and gentlemen, till next time, Nagy, love you, buddy.
Love you, man. Thanks for listening, guys.